Have you ever had an experience that blew you away? That's what I experienced at Podcast Summit 26. Yes, here 2026 in Atlanta, Georgia. And with that being said, welcome to Alien Eyez Photos Industry Talk with your host, photographer Steve Jackson of Alien Eyez Photos Media. Bringing you another episode of Alien Eyez Photos Industry Talk. My experience here in Atlanta just blown me away as I'm recording in the Creator Clubhouse, home of David Shins and a lot of other creators you may or may not know. And usually I attend the summit, I take in the information and take my notes, apply some things I don't apply that I should, or, sometimes I forget. But this year, I switched it up. I bought a vendor booth, something I never, ever done before. It was amazing. Amazing experience. It was nerve-wracking at first, but just making it through. Like just partnering with my partner, Brianna Casanova with Overflow Studios. Shout out to her. Who got a lot of things on the back end before we became down together. Oof. Shout out to great partners, great business partners, relationship partners, all that good stuff. Who's actually producing this episode? And just to speak about our experience, well, from my viewpoint, definitely get rest, definitely stay hydrated, definitely have a lead magnet. The lead magnet helps so much. Like me as an introvert creative at that, I had to get creative. My biggest thing was just networking, shaking hands, meeting new people. The most fruitful thing out of it all was just meeting new people, the connections, the fruitful conversations. That paid for the slot itself. The contacts that I made was just amazing. Something that I don't get when I'm just sitting in these workshops and classes and activations. So that was something to look forward to in the future, not just at the next podcast summit, but for any event, or if I become a vendor anytime soon, which I'm not thinking about because we presented my first pod. We had our first redemption in Cleveland, Ohio, where we tested it out, tested our offer, tested our production skills, and yeah, we loved it. So we wanted to bring it here to Podcast Summit 26, and we did just that. We were going to buy a general admission ticket or VIP, but we was like, no, let's just buy a vendor booth. Why not? We could still attend the classes if we wanted to, and then we also have space to market, to make an offer, to sell and make money, recuperate our travel funds, because it's an investment. And we definitely took, 10, 11, like 11-ish, 12 hours on the road because we had to transport so much equipment of our own. And yeah, we're doing it. We learned from some, walking around different booths. We learned from some people that have been doing it way longer than us. I mean, 5, 10, 20 years. Some their whole lifetime. That's all they know, like real hustlers. And, me being passive, it was like, man, I gotta pull it out of me. Day one, that was more passive me. Day two, it's like, okay, we gotta grind and really present our offer. Like, we didn't hit our quota, but we still made those connections. So we're going back to the drawing board right after this episode and figure out what can we do better, what can change, what can stay the same, what do we like, what do we didn't like, what worked, and just, take the feedback in with each other, reflect, and go back to the drawing board and keep refining our offer. And it's just gonna be happening time after time after time after time. And this episode is not rehearsed. I'm just simply sharing my thoughts. Usually I have my notes, my written notes and everything. Like last year, if you saw the recap of Podcast Summit 25, I had my notes and everything. But this year, nah, I'm just going straight from the heart, from the mind, from the soul. And I actually stepped out of my comfort zone. I don't do too many interviews, but I sat down with Ashley Kirkwood, the entrepreneur powerhouse that's so phenomenal at sales and so many other things. Like, wow, just hearing her story too. Like, man, I did not know. And throughout the whole summit, like she was live streaming like 13 hours straight each day. Like, who does that? The vendors and volunteers, everybody was saying she showed up before them, before the doors even opened. So that's something to admire. Like, wow, that's amazing. 13 hours straight with a couple bathroom breaks. Even when I seen her walk past my vendor booth, she's loud like, oh, like, wow. On the way to the bathroom, I don't know what she did in the bathroom now. I hope she sat it down somewhere, but that's inspiring. And we were positioned next to Where Jesus, Samuel, that's his brand, Where Jesus, and just seeing him just work the room and even step away from his booth, just handing out business cards, shaking hands, meeting new people. Like, wow, that's inspiring. Like, man, okay, I see how it's done a little bit. So, we're definitely gonna go back to the drawing board. And then me and Brianna also being introverts, was like, okay, what can we do now? And we always have our, our hot moments. We trade off, okay, she's hot, okay, I'm hot. And then we see each other caught in conversations. Like, how do we break away from those conversations that's fruitful and engaging and enriching, but we're not making the sale? And then there's other people who's walking up to us. It's like, okay, can we break away? But that's just something to reflect on and think about for next time and what we can implement and do different. Yeah, so you'll definitely see us back at podcast 27. And wow, I ran into my guy who actually helped build this studio, Creator Clubhouse here in Atlanta, Mr. Tybo Audio. And wow, I invited him on my podcast. And it's just amazing that the willingness and openness, no gatekeeping of everyone we met. Like I said, from Tybo, even giving us different pointers, even hearing him give different insights and tips to other people. Like, wow, even they're live. Like, I don't know how long it took him and the team here in Atlanta at Creative Clubhouse and David Shan's team with the Podcast Summit to set up before the summit, days before. But it's just amazing to know the process and, hearing that people share the process from Zell to, like I said, Tybo, even Jay Scribe, who's now in Miami, to Armani. Like, wow, I feel for you all, like, cause y'all did amazing. Like, just seeing the behind the scenes of that, and just to know what goes on behind the scenes. Cause I'm looking at the summit the previous years, but to know and see the behind the scenes is amazing. So another thing I would say is shout out to everybody that did book their session with My First Pod, and shout out to our team in Cleveland, the whole pull-up experience, Brittany Knight with Beauty Toe, Jess, What's Next Jess, starting and launching her podcast. It's amazing, like, and everybody else that booked the session. And then I even had to book a session myself. Like, I'm recording this episode. I don't really do video, but I had to here at the Creators Clubhouse. It's amazing, even from Cleveland all the way to Atlanta, just hearing the constant feedback, the good positive feedback that we hear that's fruitful. Like, wow, we did a good job, and they're blown away that the work that we're doing is definitely showing up, and they accept it and they love it. It's always good. It's always good to hear that good feedback. So we know we're doing something right. Like, it's purposeful. So we want to keep bringing you My First Pod. That is like our primary staple offer at this moment. So stay tuned for what we got next. And I'm just proud of everybody that started and launched their podcast, even if it was not with us, and the game and tips and insights that we got out of it. And we share with other people that just wanted to pick our brain. Like, we are an open book because the people we meet are open books and just share. So what would it mean if we don't share? It wouldn't be right. So we must reciprocate that and share the wealth. Just being here at the Creative Clubhouse, home of David Shands, the Social Proof, almost said the Social Proof Circle because we're in the Social Proof Circle, but Social Proof Podcast. David Shands always say, once you learn something, build something, bring it back to the community, share it. So I'm going to leave you with that thought, and I will see you at podcast 27. Whether if I'm an attendee, a vendor, a speaker, we don't know yet. But we're bringing My First Pod. And we're thinking about going on tour with this because there's a lot of people that we met that wanted to start their podcast, and that was messengers after the fact, like, oh, we didn't get to see you, but we seen you at your booth and this and this and that. And we know we just gonna refine and improve and see how we can make this universal where we can travel and still be profitable, because it is a cost to all this. But Podcast Summit 2026 was amazing. I'm looking forward to Podcast Summit 27. See all the things that's going to come about, even the speakers, all the new connection. And if you haven't got there, it's a great room to be in, to network. And I will see you again. This is photographer Jackson, Steve Jackson of Alien Eyez Photos Media, bringing you another episode of Alien Eyez Photos Industry Talk here at the Creators Clubhouse, a special Atlanta edition. And I am signing out. But before I go, make sure you follow me at Alien Eyez Photos. That's Alien Eyez with a Z, Photos with a S, and alieneyezphotos.com. But if you wasn't at Podcast Summit, we did have a special offer. Not just My First Pod, not just the real deal, but me and Brianna with Overflow Studios, and that's with an S, we created the Producer's Playbook. So if you wasn't there, we will share it to you as well. So just make sure you DM one of us, Producer's Playbook, and we will send that over to you. Podcast Summit 26, it's a wrap. This is the recap from my perspective this year as a vendor. If you want to check out last year's episode where I broke down some of the speakers and what they talked about, some of the insights, check that out. Podcast Summit 25, Part 1 and Part 2 for Day 1 and Day 2. And yeah, check out all our episodes, and we are out.